भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं कर्वावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. In the name of the Lord. We are on the sixth chapter, 10th verse, Shvetashvatara Upanishad, page 189 in your book here. The one deity who covered himself naturally with the effects of pradhana, as a spider covered itself with its thread, may he grant me unification with Brahman. So it's a constant refrain of this particular sage called Svetashvatra, that the deity. And what's a deity's nature? The bright one. The Deva means luminous one, the bright. 10th, 189, please. 189, towards the end. You got it? Yeah. I'll read the Sanskrit. Yes, tantu naba iva tantu bihi pradhana jai swabhavatah dev eka swam anavrinotu sano dadat brahma apyayam. It's swam avrinot. It is covering himself. So it's like we were just talking about some of these credit cards with a zero. You get a kind of a 0% and then you get caught up in the trap, and then a friend there saying is, yeah, it's like Vedanta, you'll dismiss everything. Actually, what you said was the perfect, you can say, method of Vedanta. It first demolishes all your old conceptions, and really those who can really become Advaita Vedantins, they go through a period of atheism. Oh yes, it you see this universe, and now we have the technology to kind of imagine. It helps imagine. See the extent of this universe. What is this? Did God create this? I doubt. Yes, this one, it is there. But from where has this universe come? I don't know. Who started? I don't know. We are searching for causes. Why was this whole thing necessary at all? Why did it happen? Well, some quantum where did the quantum fluctuations come from? And why did it come? You go through a period of atheism. I went through it. Most of this hardcore Vedantists did. Whatever you had been holding as conceptions of God, they break under scrutiny. They break under the larger picture. They break under science, whatever. And then, as things are crumbling, then comes in the light. So, yes, this is the reason why this sage is trying to explain that reality to different perspectives. Somewhere it's going to gel with us, the seeker. Maybe this particular view might not agree with me in the sense he's giving another one, he's presenting another one, another one. Yeah, this is what it is. Then you question, okay, you see, these Upanishads are experiences, and then they have been put in kind of it's commented upon. And after its commentary, then they have the philosophy. It's never the reverse. We put in a kind of a proposition. Then we have the whole philosophy standing up, and then we say, okay, fine, this may or may not correspond to your experience. What? No, it's a reverse. These experiences in Indian philosophy or Eastern philosophy, that is the one criteria. Are you speaking about your own experience? Well, that's why they say that this is an experience. Okay, this experience, the sage has presented his experience to us. Can we also have the same experience? Not in that perfectly similar fashion, but you will get the idea, yes, that it corresponds. Like Sri Ramakrishna once went to uh, one of the Tagore families, this Devendra Tagore. And then Devendra Tagore was speaking about God as a kind of a huge chandelier and with all these lights, and Sri Ramakrishna immediately he saw that one deity manifesting itself through light in various forms. And then he's saying, oh yes, what he's saying is right. Well, when Swami Vivekananda came, have you seen God? "Huh, yes, I see him more intensely than I see this world. Now, here, Vita, this is nothing. I mean, it is tangible, it is intense, it is there for us. Yet, at one point of time, this becomes a kind of a shadowy reality. The reality, the God or whatever, becomes even more real than this world that we see. We perceive. You do perceive it. Okay, fine. God is so intense. So, where is it perceived? Through the senses? It is perceived in the mind intensely. So, this is what he's saying. The one deity who covered itself with naturally with the effects of pradhana. Pradhana, we will get to know. Pradhana means chief, first, the first as a first cause, the first evolute rather. Nature is first in its unmanifest state. You cannot intuit, you cannot discern any movement in that nature. Then the stirrings occur in that nature when it is time for it to evolve. Like the seed, when it is thrown out in the soil, in the clay, it's covered. There is a period of inactivity, and then slowly it starts becoming active, and then starts sprouting, and so germinating and sprouting, and there you are. So there's a small period of inactivity where the whole of nature, as it were, sleeps. In the mythological language, you call it that's the night of the creator. Like we have the day of the creator, we have day and night of human beings and all these things. We also have the day time, which is a creation time, and the night
Is
time.
the same as Prakriti?
Yes, Prakriti. It's yes,
Sankhya.
yes. So Pradhana is the first. This is the first evolute. This is the Prakriti. Pra is perfect. Kriti is activity. When nature starts evolving into, you know, a well structured, we can say, organization. Keeps on. The first stage, second stage, third stage, fourth stage, keeps on and on and on and on. It's a self replicating. It keeps on and on and on and on. So this is what happens. But that's nature. That is simply made up of all the elements and everything, the subtle elements. So, or do you say the subatoms and atoms and the combination of this. But we see this, there's something called consciousness also, that which enlivens everything. So within that nature, within this pradhana, as I said, of chief, which is evolving, there is involved what? Consciousness. This is that the one deity who has covered naturally with the effects of it. It's like a person who's, in India, it's very cold and we pull the blankets, we pull the quilt right over the heads, and then we go, hey, who's that? Then we know he's so and so. He's feeling cold. He's taking a nap. Okay, and then that person has to be woken up, pull that. Hey, come on! What are you doing? Taking a nap out here? You know what happens? You take a quilt and you go out in the sun, and it's freezing. The temperature is like really freezing. Yeah. So and the sun is up. You take your kind of small kind of a mat, you take a quilt and cover yourself, and it's a wonderful. You can say, you feel warm and nice, and the guys fall asleep, and then hey, what's that? Who's that? Pull it.
Where in India is it? In the Himalayas?
Oh, in the Himalayas.
Also Delhi,
Oh, that's
Delhi winter.
Delhi winters, of course,
different.
winters in the North India. But then, so here that deity has covered as if itself through what? Through this nature. Consciousness covers itself with nature. So that's the idea. You, the moment you have something pure, you have a mind. Right now, you just feel like you could just let go and keep quiet and be peaceful. But after about a couple of minutes, then you say, "Oh, I wish I can hear that music. And I wish I can paint that picture. I wish I can call my friend." There, what happened to you? You were fine just now. This is the idea. When you come to a kind of a equilibrium, a balance, nature again tries to topple you, push you down. Hey, get out from this place. Get going. And then you seek to do things. This is what it is. So we are a combination of consciousness and nature. Crane, in India we have these auctions. The auctions, or sometimes auctions are tied to a kind of a long. They have a harness and a long pole, and they have a uh, grinding kind of stone, millstones, and it's like a hopper, and they put some grain in it, wheat or whatever, and that oxen is made to turn round and round and round. Now you cannot have an oxen turning round, walking and walking, walking, and you need another person to see that this guy keeps on walking or no. So what they do is a kind of they put either a long sugar cane or a leaf of uh, corn, just tie it above that oxen's head, and the oxen reaches out to that, keeps walking and walking and walking, trying to reach that food, and then it threshes the corn there, or it presses your oil seeds. You get oil. So here we are. Nature says, "Come, come, I'll give you this gingerbread." No, I don't want. Please. And then you come in and nature catches you by the hand. You want gingerbread? Come, I'll give you some more. I'll give you something more. Yeah, what? There you are. Then you pull your hand out, and I don't want any of my your gingerbread. Let's keep quiet. I said, I'll give you another nice looking cookie. Come, and there you are. So what happens is this is it. And the example is given. It's like a spider. It spins out the web out of its own body. It does not take something. extraneous to spin that web. It brings it out of itself, spins that web, and then withdraws it there. Similarly, this consciousness mixed with, yeah, nature throws out this universe and it withdraws back. Because if you have, we are speaking about consciousness and nature, but actually it's one. We just see it from one side, on the one side, okay, this is like the nature, trying to delude you, trying to make you manifest, and actually it's like this. But God cannot have, we cannot have two gods doing this. One, in Hinduism, we have a God creator and the sustainer and the destroyer. Actually, they are one only. We're not three. We don't want any kind of confusion. The best way to avoid all confusion, to remove of all the gods. You can have n number of gods doing n number of things, but actually it's one, because you will get into a metaphysical problem, conundrum. What? We'll have two gods and hundreds of gods or whatever. So that same God is the efficient and the material cause of the universe. Efficiency, I am one, let me be many. Eko Ham Bhavsha. And yeah, how do you get to become many? God is the material cause also. So what's the material? It's the body of God. So what we are experiencing is the body of God. Yeah, the universe. What universe are you talking about? Vedanta will say it's the body of God. But wait, but is this reality like this? The consciousness mixed with nature is giving all this. And you see everywhere this consciousness and nature combining and bringing out all these forms. The moment you extract consciousness away from a particular sequence or particular action or a particular, you can say, organization or a cell even, or anything, that thing comes almost dead. It does not further evolve. So we have the mixture. This world is a mixture of both consciousness and non-consciousness, nature. The nature becomes conscious. We see, oh, this is consciousness here. It's like, the example in Vedanta is given like a red hot iron ball. Fire, is separate, and the iron ball, when it's heated, it becomes red and then it becomes white. And if the iron ball thinks, oh, I can burn things down, well, you can't. The fire is borrowed fire. So similarly, our bodies and minds and everything is are working through borrowed light, borrowed consciousness. Sri Ramakrishna gives another example of some vegetables being cooked in a big pot, and the vegetables are dancing up and down. They're saying, "Yeah, see, we are doing this dance or whatever, dead dance or food dance or whatever." Water will say, "Well, it's because of me, because of my heat that I'm transferring that to you." The vessel will say, the iron vessel probably will say, well, it's because I am hot, I'm transferring that heat to the water, and the water transferring that to, I'm the guy. The fire will say, well, no, it's actually me here. Well, if the fire is taken out, everything cools down. So consciousness is that fire that is enlivening everything, all the entities that are in nature, which have evolved. That's why Swami Vivekananda says it is the evolution of nature and the manifestation of the spirit. As nature keeps on evolving and evolving, it comes to the finest, you can say, quality it can ever create, the human brain. Wow. And then the brain becomes self-conscious. Wow. And then it even structurally the brain looks, I mean, almost the same. There is a difference between a man and a woman brain. The brain is constant differences in the brain. Structurally we have a kind of same, but the connections are all different. So this nature will keep on evolving a more sattvic brain. Sattvic in the sense that which can reflect light or consciousness or luminosity perfectly. Like, yeah, you cannot say Swami Vivekananda is a man, was a man, and everybody are men. So Swami Vivekananda is a man. That person was a god. What made him a god? Human being, but then the material which was in him had become so superfine. It reflected the glory of that consciousness. So here, I will say, as a spider covers itself with a may, and this is the final line is may that grant me unification, Brahman. May I be unified. How do I be unified? I have to get unified with the consciousness. And it's a prayer. That is grant me liberation. Saying, oh, give us today our daily bread. No, no, wait, wait. You don't have to bother about daily bread. Nature will give you that bread. You simply work a little. If you work, you will get your bread. Then what should you pray for? You pray for light, you pray for knowledge, you pray for devotion, you pray for liberation. This is what it is. May he grant me unification with Brahman. That is. So why should we get unified with Brahman? Oh yes, that's the goal. I have somehow become detached from that reality. Why? Well, there are many reasons why we have become detached through non-knowledge or through our desires or through our individuality. We are seeking things which are not really our own nature. Shri Ramakrishna gives the example of the mother she has let the child play and she's given a few toys to the child and the child is happy and playing. As long as the child is busy with the toys, the mother is not bothered. She is busy with other things. And when the child throws that toy, hurls it, I don't want, I want my mother. And not on the first cry, a couple of, you can say, minutes, hours, the child keeps on crying, I don't want this anymore. Then the mother, okay. So the Divine Mother is like this. She has thrown a few toys. Keep yourself busy, my children. And we are busy. This, my that, my this. Once I had enough. So come back. Let's come back. Let's go. And she will withdraw you back. How does it happen? Yeah, it happens. Like Sri Ramakrishna says, Holy Mother has the key to the knowledge of Brahman. She is not an ordinary. She is the key is there. Okay, you want back? You want to come back? Yeah, I'll open the door for you. And we return. So it's just a question of then what? Wanting to go back. All what you're talking about, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, Japa, and Dhyana, it is just trying to increase longing to go back. Nothing else. And once that is a That's the highest form of, you can say, spiritual practice. Sri Ramakrishna, when he started his spiritual practices, he never was, you can say, trained in a kind of a perfect way or a structured way by his gurus. Gurus came much later. What made him succeed is only his intense hankering to see the Divine Mother. Are you real? So many saints have seen you. Is it just an imagination? Why don't you say something? And day in and day out, he was w- praying for her vision, and he got it. That was a hankering. So when you hanker for a particular thing, when we hanker for a particular thing, food and sleep and sex and all these things becomes all secondary, tertiary. All these things. The desire to know yourself eradicates all desires. Like there's a saying in Rumi. Rumi, the great Sufi can say saint. The desire to know yourself will extinguish all your other desires. So you just increase your desire to know God and to see God. Everything else is taken care of. Is that a spiritual practice? Yes, that's a perfect spiritual practice. Do we need to go to some cave or some desert or some forest? No, you don't need. You don't need. You stay where you are. So as the soul is now coming towards the end of its long evolution, it has seen things, it has heard things, it has experienced all these things, and it's saying enough. I want to go back. Then the soul says, now what? Now let's see that reality. And then you can see that. So the next sloka, next mantra, 11, 190, please. So where do we search for that? Here say that same deity remains hidden in all beings and is all pervasive and the indwelling self of all beings. Here you are. It is all pervading. It's the self of all beings. It dwells in everything and all beings. That is the supervisor of actions. You think you know, and I know, I have quietly thought or done something nobody knows. No, God knows. When you say, hey, God knows, I don't, God knows. God really knows. He is a supervisor of actions, lives in all beings. He is a witness, the bestower of intelligence, the absolute, and devoid of the three qualities. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Eko Devaha Sarvabhuteshu Gudaha Sarvavyapi Sarvabhutantaratma Karma Adyaksha Sarvabhutadivasa Sakshi Cheta Kevalo Nirgunascha. Oh yeah, this is like that one deity, Ekadev, what that one deity. There's not two. In the absolute sense, it is just one. Even all the smaller gods and goddesses are all its manifestations. So that one deity, what was it? Remains hidden in all beings, Sarva Bhuteshu. So it is there in all beings. Where? It's hidden in all beings. Why should it hide itself? Yeah, it's stupid. Why should? Well, to the ignorant, it is hidden. But those who know, it is most manifest. Hmm. So yeah, so hidden in the sense of for those who do not know. That's why I say hidden because it is extremely subtle, and one has to make one's understanding subtle in order to catch that reality.
What are the three qualities?
the sattva and the rajas and the tamas. So I last time I had given you that hmm, kind of story in the mythology. God, after he created this world, the universe, taking a kind of a break, and suddenly he hears the sounds of people searching for him. Where is that guy? Where is that God? So he looks around, he's saying, everything is working perfectly in this universe except these human beings. You think, what's wrong with them? They could have kept themselves busy, engaged with all hundreds of things. They're searching for me. Why me? And then he tries to hide in the forest. There too, the people they try come following him. He goes to the mountain tops. He goes down below in the oceans, in the deserts, everywhere, and everywhere is going. People are following. God is now tired. He's running about. So he meets a divine sage. Divine sage is saying, what happened? Oh Lord, what happened? Why are you tired? Why are you agitated? Why are you running away? You see these guys? I have created a perfect universe. Everything is working like clockwork, except these human beings. They're chasing me. They want to see me. What should I? And I've got no place left now. So that divine says, you go and stay in their hearts. Go and enter in their hearts and stay out there, and then you'll be safe. So what the Lord did was he enters into everybody's heart, and people are now searching. Where's God? Where's God? Where's God? That guy is there sitting inside quietly. So that's why the Bhagavad Gita also says this Atman is in all beings in the form of a kind of in a sleep mode. When you have a computer, you put it on sleep mode, Hmm. You sleep or restart or shut down. There is no shutdown, it's a sleep mode. So that Atman is entered. He's saying, Esha Atma, this Atman is in all beings, Sarva Bhutesha. They say Shayarupa in Shayarupena Samstita. That is in the form of a kind. It is non-manifest. It is there quietly hidden. So the Lord is there, sleeping there in your heart, and we are searching. "Yeah, where's that God? Where's that God? We are searching this temple and that synagogue and this mosque and this and that and here, there. Everywhere we are searching. One place we have not looked. It's in the heart, and that is what all the spiritual practices lead you to is heart in the sense to the very core of your being. We keep some time towards the end for so it's not your physical heart. It's like there was a friend of mine who he was going to study medicine, surgery, and then these interns, medical students, not interns, they have to do all the dirty work, scrubbing and this and that. And there was one patient, so he had to scrub the whole thing, get the patient ready for next day and this and that. So, so simple man is going to have a kind of open heart surgery. In those days, open heart surgery. So that poor man was there and he was so agitated. I said, don't worry, you say medical science is so advanced, you'll be fine. I say, yeah. And then after the open heart surgery, the next day, this guy goes around with the doctor, main surgeon going around the kind of thing. He seen as a young boy. He said, when you opened the heart, did you see my soul? No, no, no. There was no, we never saw any soul or anything like that. Oh, and then Well, the operation was successful, but the person's vital signs went on going down. His blood sugar shot up, pressure also shot up, and all this. The doctors are worried. What happened? Yesterday he was fine. The day before he operated, and what happened? And the kind is like, the person might die. Then that my friend came and asked me in the evening, "Hey, this kind of a joke." The guy asked me, "What about this Atman this and that in my heart?" Because it says in the heart. All the scriptures say it's in the heart of the being. So, and I said like this. I said, "You stupid! You don't say like that." I didn't know what the medical condition of that patient was. I said, "See, it is say the Atman, the self is extremely subtle, and you need a very subtle mind to grasp that. So it is not in the physical heart. That's what it's not meant a physical heart. It's not even the emotional heart. It is the heart, the center of your being." So he went the next day and saying, "You see, it actually, I never saw your soul because you can see the soul with these eyes and it's not in this heart. It is there deep down within you." And oh, and that patient, "Oh, I see. Oh, thank you, thank you. Oh, I thought you operated my heart, opened my heart, and all you mashallah." And then that person's vital signs and all started becoming better. His blood pressure and his sugar and everything stabilized. Just a particular thought. All his life he was thinking, he knew that the Atman was there in his heart there. And when somebody said, "You don't have Atman there, you don't have a self there," he got agitated. Was he wrong all these years? So this is what it is. So where exactly? So here it is saying is hidden in the hearts of all beings. And Sarva Vyapi, all pervading. That which is all pervading is subtle, fine. When a thing becomes gross, it becomes limited by time and space. This table, this chair, all these people are limited by time and space because it is gross. A thing which is subtle, can you contain this air in this room only? No, it's subtler than this. Can you see the air? You can see, you can feel that air when it topples down everything, breeze and all that. So space is more subtle. It's all pervasive. Time, time is another subtle entity, and then the self, the Atman, is even more subtle because very fine, and that's why it's all pervasive. And that which is all pervasive is the indwelling self of all. It is also indwelling. Now, can you say space does not exist in me? Yes, it is there within you also, and it's there outside also. Does time exist in me? Yes, of course, because things are being modified through time, through space. So the self is even more subtler than that. So it is indwelling all beings. That is a supervisor of actions, name, form, actions. It's like that. Can't I do anything quietly? You can. You think you can, but you can't. They say the witness, because consciousness is there. Without consciousness, you can't do anything. You cannot think. The consciousness is that supervisor, the witness, and the bestower of intelligence. There it is. And it's like it's the basis of everything. Then he's saying It's absolute and devoid of the three qualities. It has nature has the three qualities of sattva and rajas and tamas. Pure consciousness is devoid of these three qualities. Because if it was comprising of these qualities, then it will be delimited. It will not be pure anymore. It will be impure. So when God wants to create, yes, we say God has to limit itself to create. Why should he bother, or why he or she bother to create? What was the necessity of? So, and when God comes as an incarnation, God has to even limit himself or herself even more. So what we are getting is a kind of limited, very limited version of. So everything has to become limited. God, even God has to become limited by it. But in its real essence, God is absolute, devoid of all elements. So we have two aspects of God. One is the conditioned aspect that creates all this name and form and actions and thoughts and living beings and all this. And another is that the unconditioned, absolute aspect of God. This is what. So in this verse, both are being spoken of: the conditioned aspect of God and the unconditioned aspect of God. Okay. So we can stop here and we can take some questions.